Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, on behalf of your Denver-based podcast crew, we appreciate you joining us for the Friendly Vibes.
Coming to you live from TSS Universidad. It's Top Shelf Studios, and I'm joined by two very intelligent guests today for what will surely be a highfalutin conversation, right, gentlemen? Now we're here to mess around and have fun. To my left, returning to the show after a long anticipated wait, he was back on audio. Now he's in your face if you're watching on YouTube. James Cooper.
Hello.
I know him as of yesterday.
And to his left, the man who joined us for our staff open mic, Makana G.
It went real bad. It was good.
Back from New York. Yeah, you're telling me, bro. I got buried by Sam Tallent
So
doing
funny.
the most eclectic, unique setup. Most amazing.
Oh my gosh, that was so incredible seeing that.
What helped me relax was watching you bomb. I'm like, oh, good. Oh, good.
You're like, oh, I can bomb too. It'll be fine.
Suffering's bad. That's why we have to suffer together.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's been going on in your life? You're always up to a million things.
Yeah, I'm mostly just on a break right now from comedy, but I'm doing a lot of just writing, which feels really good. But I know like September and October, August, September, October, I was very, very consistent with comedy and felt great. And honestly, like the end of October, I worked like probably 13 out of 16 nights the second half of October for who was there that weekend, if you remember? Like Halloween, obviously, but Carlos Mencia.
Yeah. October was hot.
Yeah. And so I just kind of like got myself to the brink of burnout, but didn't like push myself over the edge and was just like, you know what? Now I'm just going to take a little bit of a break. Plus we had the staff open mic on the 31st too.
That's right.
So that was like
And you hosted that one.
Yeah.
So.
That was the last time that I did any kind of open mic actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
31st of October.
Yeah.
Oh, so on Halloween was last time.
Mm-hmm.
Was it spooky?
A little bit because it was the first time I ever tried hosting anything. Yeah.
How do you guys feel about hosting? Because Sean, that was your first time last night too, right? Like
for like a showcase type thing, yeah. Or like,
Oh,
like
gotcha.
yeah. I've done a host like for like a show, but
right.
Scary.
You know, I like what Nick was saying before we started the show last night about not doing a set and doing your material in between comics, because when I did host last month, I was thinking that I would be able to come up with stuff on the spot between comics. And after like two or three tries, I was just like, you know, this isn't working. Let's just introduce people.
Yeah, I think you can do that, but having the backup of jokes to fall back on, so like having that in your tool bag, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because you're just depending on like, oh, like I'll improv it. Like if it's just a horrible set and everyone's like, let's just move on. You know, it's just hard.
Yeah,
You have to read the room and the energy.
Oh, I just want to make sure that I'm speaking into it.
Are the
clearly.
levels good too?
Yeah, we'll be. I'm just monitoring a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Groovy enough.
So wait, but tell me more about your situation with comedy, I guess. Like, are you trying at all in New York? Or
No.
Huh.
I don't know. Like, I've kind of been giving myself some grace because I've never moved from home, and I'm like, I think I'm someone who's been very guilty of like, I need to figure out everything all at once, put pressure on myself, and then do nothing. So I read Goggins' book, and he talks about like reaching into the cookie jar. Did you read that?
I read Never Finished, but not the first one.
I think I read the first one, but not Never Finished. But he talks about like anytime something's hard, a lot of us don't reflect on the things we've already done that were our accomplishments. So he calls those accomplishments cookies. Grab one from your cookie jar. But yeah,
There's motivation for the next hard thing.
exactly. And I don't know. I was just kind of just at peace with getting my life together, getting a job, feeling stable, getting a network, and like meeting people. And also, I've just kind of been a pussy, to be real.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
moving to New York is
Dude.
huge. So, like, good for you.
But
That's awesome.
Sean was helpful because he was like, oh, like, what, you should prepare for mics when we get out here. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And really did not. I was writing, but not like editing. It was like, you know, I was writing when I would think of something, getting better about like writing things when I was talking about it in conversation. But then like a really cool comedy night came to my club with like big comedians. So that's been motivational, like meeting people in it and now having a network within that.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, where do you work in New York?
It's called, well, it's an Irish pub. It's an Irish pub in Kips Bay. It's like right next to New York Comedy Club.
Cool.
Yeah.
And one day, he's bartending one day, Ryan Long and the Boys Cast boys walk in because they're Mike where they were doing.
Yeah, so Danny's been in, Ryan, H. Foley, I was smoking outside with a bit.
Those are the
Are You Garbage?
Yeah, so it's been cool. I know, like, Gagnon's involved. But one of the guys who ran it, JJ, has moved to Austin. But it's been cool, dude, just being around comedy and, like, driven people and stuff. And, like, I think Sean, by breaking my chair and just, like, I built something up to be more in my mind than it was. Like, I did maybe 10 mics when I was doing it, and it was probably, like, what, a 6-month period?
Something like that.
Yeah, so and maybe 2.5 years ago. But yeah, I missed it. I'm glad I did it. And, like, I feel like I was someone who would tell people don't talk about it, be about it, and then not do it. And it's like, all right.
That's why I'm, like, so glad that I was really consistent in August, September, October, because I've been so inconsistent for the last 2 years of doing this that felt great. And I'm still trying to put myself in a better position in the long term. Yeah. Than, like, trying to,
well, it's a long, you have to, you're going to have to get to 15 years to get good or great, whatever, right?
Yeah. So you have a lot of time to find balance as well. It's like,
I had Mitch Jones on recently, and that was one of the pieces of advice he offered was, go at your pace because lots of people burn out or quit or, fall out of, like, a love for it. So whether that's a once a week or 3 times a week or it's an every night thing, some people can't get enough of sitting around and talking to degenerates. That's what open mics are. So
like, maybe you get, like, a lot better if you do 8 mics a week, but doesn't matter if you burn out in 2 years. Or is it better if you do 2 to 4 mics a week and, like, actually stick with it? And I think it's framing and perspective. But what has been cool is, like, one of my buddies is a writer, and, like, he started comedy when he was 14. In California, like, had mentors of, like, Def Comedy Jam and all that, and now he's a writer and got a couple things picked up. He actually was on Honey Boo Boo teaching her stand-up. We can probably find the clip.
Really?
Yeah, dude. It's so funny.
That's hilarious.
What's his name?
And she had a crush on him in it, too. His name's Ethan Howard. He's the man. Nice. But he's been writing a lot, and we're trying to work on some sketches. He's recording one this week that I'm not there for. Essentially, the premise is, like, no matter who walks in the bar, everyone starts speaking in that accent in the bar, but really poorly.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I don't know how he's going to pull that off. I think he needs more, Ethan. But
that's fun. So you're getting into, like, doing sketch stuff with him?
Yeah, and actually writing it out. One I want to do really bad is a pharmaceutical commercial for alcohol.
I feel like when you mentioned this, I thought more about it. I'm like, I feel like someone did this.
Maybe, probably.
Yeah, but there's no reason to
not do it again. So essentially, it's like, are you depressed? Do you live alone? Is there no meaning in your life? Did your father not hug you enough? Try alcohol for daily use. And then it shows, like, people doing, like, basic, like, old people kayaking. But then it just shows an alcoholic spiraling to the bottom of their life. Side effects may include losing everyone you love, taking a shit on your in-laws' coffee table, like
driving your car off the road.
We were also talking about, like, a mentalist at a bar trying to pick up chicks. Okay, what's your number? All right, 7. All right. Because, they just, like, study the eye movement.
Yeah.
Or just a magician, but he just fucks it up every time, and we call him the Vagician. Because he makes all the vagina disappear.
Bye-bye.
Do you remember Matt Richards when he came to with Marcelo Hernandez? He also came with Craig Robinson. This dude was a mentalist. Fucking blew all of our minds.
Dude, mentalists are crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's what a lot of people don't realize about, like, tarot card readers and, like, psychics and stuff. They're essentially doing the mentalist shit, but just branding it differently. It's like, it's not just, it's partially intuition, knowing body language, and, like, just experience with people.
Yeah.
Or maybe you talk to ghosts.
I'll tell you what happened with me. So he guessed, like, Hector's son's name. He guessed Alex, the name of his first crush in, like, elementary school, right? He asked me to Google image search anything. And Matt Richard, I Google image searched Notorious B.I.G. And he guessed that. I was freaking out, though, because I was worried. Matt's a black dude, and I totally thought that he would think that I was thinking that he was Notorious B.I.G. So, like, after that, I was like, wait, racist thoughts. Wait, does he know I'm having racist thoughts?
Yeah, that's a fun bit of the getting stuck in, like, a racist thought pattern with when you're in front of a mentalist or a psychic. Like, okay, you're gonna go see the guy today. Don't be racist. Remember, you're brushing your teeth in the morning. Like, remember, this is the only reading this month.
The only thing on my calendar, don't be racist.
One thing you have to make sure you don't do, and that's be racist. Because remember, he knows if you're racist. He sees inside your mind. You're looking yourself in the mirror. You're like,
that's really funny.
Like, especially he came back for Craig Robinson, so I was literally like, is he gonna remember?
He's not against you. He's with you, but he sees inside your mind. Don't be racist. Remember, he's black.
I'm getting Stan Marsh Naggers.
Oh yeah.
What's the guy looks around the camera? What's the name of that game show again? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it would be good. You should just do that.
I gotta kiss his ass like how Randy does to
Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson. Nice. Yeah. Was you grew up in Colorado, right? Or both.
Yeah, but we both grew up kind of outside of Boulder there.
It blew my mind when I first got here like 3.5 years ago, starting to see all the South Park references. Like, I remember this one time I'm getting Burger King on Colfax, right? And I just like look over, I'm like, wait a second, that's fucking Casa Bonita. That's a real place.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Have you driven up to actual South Park?
I am like, if I was riding on County Line, I'd see like the sign that said South Park, but is there a different area that's closer to what the show represents?
Yes. So in
Fairplay, right?
Outside of, it's like right next to Fairplay. Okay. It's like a small little town, South Park, and there is one main drag that kind of like sets up like looks like the show type of thing, at least from the early seasons. So it's very funny to see how
Casa Bonita sucked. It sucked. So not when since it reopened.
Have you seen the videos of their like during the? I saw a video this week. Matt's on FaceTime with Trey, and he's like showing him inside Casa Bonita like the asbestos and like all this fucked up stuff with the kitchen, and it's like this is gonna. Can we get our money back? Like they're joking with each other on the phone. Like that's like the pool is like here's groundwater coming into the pool. They bought it the past
couple of years, but it's been open since like 1973.
Damn.
I think.
Yeah, it's like a Colorado like family Mexican establishment.
Yeah, so it's a Mexican restaurant.
It's a Mexican theme park restaurant, kind of. It is an experience.
But the admission is overpriced Mexican food, and it was always notoriously like the worst food.
Yeah, except the sopapillas. Except the sopapillas. Yeah. So many people, so many comics will talk about that. Sklar Brothers, fucking. That's the only example I can give.
That's the only cultural thing Colorado has food-wise is sopapillas, and then tourists think it's Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yes, I mean, have you ever had
chilies from New Mexico?
Have you had Rocky Mountain oysters in your life?
Kind of. We did it with a lamb testicle.
Gotcha.
Just when I was cooking, and we got a lamb in every Monday, so it's like a chicken McNugget, but like gayer.
I just substitute my oysters for cum, and it tastes the exact same.
Fishy.
So what has been something that surprised you about 3 years in Colorado?
I mean, definitely the South Park stuff for sure.
Were you coming from a city before? I can't.
Kind of Phoenix.
In Phoenix, okay, that's right.
Tempe, ASU. So
that's right.
Yeah. Like going from school, and I think I told you about this. Like the apartment that I lived at when I first moved here was called the X Denver.
Yes, it's like a social apartment.
Exactly. Dude, I had so many friends who lived there, and I heard stories.
Oh no way! Wow.
I had a buddy who bartended.
He knew.
Oh, I know a guy who bartended at X. Do you know Andy Balzer?
I'd have to see a picture, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. He was a bartender there, but do you know Clark Andrews? If you know Alex.
No. Well, maybe in passing, I guess.
Well, they were roommates.
Okay.
But either way, yeah.
Sounds familiar.
What is your thoughts on X Denver?
Well, I mean,
I'll tell you my thoughts.
Well, honestly, when I had like just moved there right out of college, it felt great, and I was like, "Man, this is adult life. Like, what are people complaining about?" But
no, it's fucking dorms for 20-something alcoholics who don't want to grow up, and mommy and daddy.
I mean, exactly.
Wipe them.
And they had like this vision of entrepreneurs and creatives, like all aspiring things to like come and create things together. And at first I bought into that and felt really good about it. And there were some like really cool people that I met there for sure. But it was a lot of just like, I don't know, rich kids there to party for like the rooftop pool, the hot tub, and all the crazy events that they do and whatnot. So as I lived there for 2 years total, I guess, like more and more I started to realize like the demographic of people that I would like to be there aren't really there. And I have to just like go off and do my own thing. So.
Yeah, I felt like it was frat bros and sorority sisters who just didn't want it to end.
Yeah.
You know, it's like some of them were up to 30. We're like 32. It's like, oh, like we're drinking at the pool, and like, oh, they're having a DJ set, and that's why my rent's 50% more than it should be. Yes, like, you know.
It's funny for me too.
So they took away a lot of the amenities too, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, they went out of business, so like,
and that's bad for business.
That's the worst thing for business, actually.
So
not really right off.
I don't think they ever really like took away any amenities. They definitely promised a lot that they didn't deliver on. Like they promised so many people a podcast studio. If you had ever moved in there for the promise of a podcast studio, you would have been pissed.
You would have unionized.
And there were a lot of people that did podcasts there too.
Damn.
So yeah, it was like decent community for stuff like that. But I think I forget where I was going with that.
We're getting so close to 150. Pretty exciting.
Episodes?
150 episodes. Pretty exciting.
Nice.
Huh.
What is this one?
This is about like 146 or something like that.
Cool.
Okay, so we can probably get up to 150 today, right?
Yeah, I mean,
10-minute apps.
yeah, little micro apps. Yeah. We're just putting out clips now. It's not a long form,
You can
large
be
form
like,
show
I've
anymore.
done 2,000 episodes of my podcast. Like, damn, you put in work. It's a minute 30 each. New minute every week.
The episodes are short. They're minute blasts.
I base episodes off my cock.
That would be interesting. That would be an interesting strategy for podcasting of like, we put out, it's a minute. Like we write a minute joke every day.
I feel like there's some like satirical short channels that do something like that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, some like some like fake entrepreneurial stuff.
No, okay.
Never
mind.
I don't breathe because that takes energy.
No, I don't want. I don't want it to be like a manosphere. Like, do you really need water, or do the psyops?
Well, you know what you could do? You like. Podcast episodes can be so long. I think it'd be funny if people just did like spark notes of podcast episodes. It's like we talked about literally a minute long. It's like we talked about cars and this and that. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you add humor or something, maybe you cut in, or you don't, or you do spark notes for a podcast episode that never happened. That's funny.
You know what that makes me wonder though?
Huh?
How many like full length plays has Shakespeare written? He's like got the biggest library in history, right?
Well, multiple people. But
I wonder if Joe Rogan's going to pass him with podcast episodes.
Oh, definitely.
You know?
Definitely. The freaking wealth of library of conversations that man has
the
had.
Shakespeare of our generation.
What about the person who wrote the Super Smash Bros. Fan fiction? You know what I'm talking about?
Gosh,
is that
what
the longest work of fiction?
Yeah, that they should be put somewhere safe and warm.
Was it smut?
I'm sure there's a lot of it. There's got to be
Have
smut
you seen
somewhere.
Zero Suit Samus? Come on, Bayonetta.
All right. Talking about search histories now. We talking about search histories, buddy. What's some of the worst things you guys have searched recently?
I'm very vanilla, dude. I honestly like my search is dirty, but it's not like what the fuck, you know?
No, I'm not even saying porn. I'm saying like, what is something you would not want your friends knowing you Googled? Not even your friends knowing you Googled, just something like
something that's not
or even
porn,
if it's embarrassing,
but you still go
like
on private browsing,
or something embarrassing you didn't know you had to look up. I think I looked up what etc. means the other day.
Etc.
Etc.
No, it's etc. It's et.
Etc.
Yeah, etc.
Clearly, college went well. I don't remember what it means, so I might have to look it up again.
It's like et al. You know, like they list authors in a paper.
Oh no, what it was a circa. That's what I looked up, and I think the same thing. No idea.
That one's like
it's around the time period.
Yeah,
so that's what it is.
Circumnavigated.
So
what it's short for. But yeah, how would you guess that?
I would guess something like that. It probably has to do with Latin roots or Greek roots.
This was like circa October 17th, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Time dated, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I wanted to like go to law school, learning Latin in advance of it would be smart, because I feel like so much of our law has Latin injected in it. So you'd be able to like understand things easier just by.
Or you can learn like a useful language.
What would that be?
Like probably I hear Spanish is really on the up and up. Yeah. The numbers are up.
I took French in high school and still regret it to this day.
You use that a lot, like in the service industry in Colorado.
No, like
Venezuelans aren't very fluent in French.
I know, isn't that fucking come on, speak our language.
I assimilated. I learned French,
but it's funny because I remember like signing up for that and then like meeting a friend that took Latin, and we had this whole like thing. He was like, "You're taking French?" I'm like, "You're taking Latin?"
What are you talking to me about, Latin guy?
But you're right. Like in terms of usefulness, Probably like Latin's got to be up there just for the sake of like old.
Yeah, if you're doing like I think medicine or law, it feels like Latin would be.
It makes learning Romance languages a lot easier. So like Spanish.
If you learn
French, Portuguese.
Yeah, dude, it's all
derivative.
Yeah. And, you know, everyone's speaking Portuguese now. It's huge. That was what was really cool about Portugal is, like, everyone spoke English because their empire crumbled, and now they're pivoting to a tourist economy.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
So, like, Portuguese is the main language of, like, Brazil, but not Portugal?
Well, it is Portugal, too, but almost everyone speaks English as well because they're pivoting to a service, like, tourist economy.
Okay.
And they can barely understand Brazilians because the Portuguese is so different. And they're such a small country, so it's like I just find it funny. Like your empire was so bad, you had to bend the knee and learn a real language. You had to learn what progress and the correct way to speak is. Respectfully, I'm kidding. This is satire. I love how all of you guys speak.
That's one thing I flex about with math, though.
He's a math whiz.
Yeah,
Genie in a bottle.
I never learned the Greek alphabet from like when I was in a fraternity. I learned it from math.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Just from doing like such crazy shit.
And just like always seeing the letters in the equations and needing a new variable whenever I fuck something up.
Damn.
Yeah. Just math things.
Oh, I want to tell you that bathroom story.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I didn't tell anyone the story besides my brother because I didn't want anyone I work with to know. And it was... I'm on a darts team, and it was an away game. Someone covered me for a few hours so I could go.
Can I borrow that? Can I see the stars?
When you play darts, you lie to yourself, and you get more accurate when you drink, which, you know, obviously makes sense if you don't think about it.
I thought you have to be holding a drink when you play darts.
No, but you lie to yourself. It's like, it's kind of like comedy. Like, you can be in the pocket, like 1 or 2. It's, yeah. Once you get up to 5 or 7, not great. And, you know, I played like shit. I go back to the bar to work, and it's poker that night. So I have to be there until like, you know, 4 or 5 in the morning, maybe even later, 7, 8 in the morning. I get a little too faded. I smoke a little weed and get cross-faded. And like my buddy's leaving like, yeah, whatever, bye. And just abruptly leave the conversation, yak in the bathroom.
You did?
Oh, yeah. And like...
Spinny boy?
Huh?
Full spinny?
Not full spinny. This was preventative of spin.
No, you were like, I'm going to spin.
I believe in preventative medicine.
Right.
Yeah.
Western.
And I thought I cleaned it up, whatever. Later, and then I walk out, and a minute or two later, like one of the poker guys goes, and they're like, "Yo, dude, I think someone puked in there before." I'm like, "Oh man, that's sorry. I haven't checked the bathrooms yet tonight." Like, oh man, like sorry about that. Like I was definitely like looking at it, like, oh yeah, it's definitely gross. I'm so fucked up, dude. I'm so fucked up. And I later, you know, stomach still doesn't feel good. Sober up a little bit. Puke in the other bathroom.
Why? Why not do the same bathroom? So you only clean up one of them.
Like that, I didn't want to throw them off the trail, dude.
Oh yeah. It'd be too
It's a red herring.
Gotta hit the gender neutral too.
Well, that's what's real side note. Every bar bathroom used to be a gender neutral bathroom. It was just called the bathroom. It has one toilet in it. Anyway, that's all fine and good. And like, I thought I cleaned it, whatever. The next day, the opener comes in and is like, yeah, like great clothes last night, but I had customers go in the bathroom and said they're never going to come back because of the bathrooms. I'm like, that's not good. And she's like, yeah, like I think someone puked in here. It's like, oh yeah, you know what? One of the poker guys brought up someone puking in the bathroom.
You know, I heard about that actually.
That is awful. We shouldn't allow anyone to puke. I think that's bad to do anytime, especially at bars.
Puking not allowed anymore. It's 2025.
But it was
almost.
just so funny, like gaslighting everyone. It's like, dude, what fucking idiot would ever do? Like, you can't handle your alcohol. You're 12, dude. So funny. And I really wanted to tell like at least one of my good friends, but everyone's a regular at the bar. We you know, you keep it tight till you don't when you're a couple deep. It's like, all right, I don't need my boss knowing us was fucked up. And like,
yeah.
Anyway, so good Yelp review.
Damn, dude.
3 stars.
For the puke fetish community, it was really good.
The floor is spotless in the main area. Someone remembered to mop, but the bathrooms dismal. Oh, some of it got on the wall.
Oh, God.
There's a spray effect.
Yeah.
So anyway,
there's glory hole, or there's physics people.
Yeah, so it's so the glory hole is only about that big, but the projectile. So there's like,
you put your mouth right.
It's actually the cock that made me puke. White's for Kamala. Sorry, white man for Kamala. It is funny, like, the party of...
it's white dudes for Kamala.
It's funny the party of genders aren't real is like, well, these are dudes. And I've had some non-binary people or, like, women get mad when it's like, hey, guys, like, when I'm grading tables. And then Kamala's calling people born with penises dudes. That's fucked up.
Kamala's saying that? Or
white dudes for...
the last month of the campaign, they
it's just funny branding.
And
It's just really funny.
See the guys that posted something about that, and then the guy that killed Osama bin Laden replied to them on Twitter and called them concubines. I want to start using that word. I don't even know what it means, but it's like a sex slave type thing.
Yeah, so he said thank goodness you live in this soft time, because if we were back in the day, you would all be my concubines. So the guy that killed bin Laden, and it was a picture of the young Dems sitting in the backseat of a car after they had voted for Kamala, and they were like, all Harry Sisson and company were like, and the fucking guy that shot bin Laden is like, yeah, by the way, boys, just remember that I'd have you whenever I want you.
Imagine you sitting on the toilet taking a shit, you check Twitter after, and you get that reply, and the guy who killed thousands of people is like, I'm going to ass rape you. You buddy.
Wonder what he did to bin Laden after the camera went out.
Fucking asserted dominance.
Yeah. Do you guys remember seeing Obama on television saying that bin Laden was killed?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I still think the Trump one's way funnier though.
Wait, which one?
The one they killed Baghdad.
Yeah. Definitely funny for sure. But I was younger for the Obama one, so I just remember that.
But it's also probably not good. It's like when I hear about people getting murdered, it probably shouldn't be haha funny. I got him again, and it's fucking prankster.
I mean,
they pranked him with a drone.
You've heard the story of Trump where he got they got a hold of a meeting with a leader of the terrorists of ISIS. This was the very beginning of 2016 when ISIS was a problem. He slid a picture across the table of where the guy lives, and he goes this is where you live, and don't harm another American on your soil, or you and everybody you love will have a problem. And not a single other American was harmed. Wow. Literally, not one other person was killed.
It's funny. It's people are organized crime and the mob is scary. It's the OG
hegemonic mobs are a lot scarier now.
Yeah. It's imagine if mob had all the funding, they were the legal system. Shit gets you would think shit would get done, but really it has.
If you disagree, they're just going to install someone else who will agree, right? But judging by history, I mean.
But sometimes the mob gets too big and it gets inefficient.
Yeah. I remember my grandpa telling me a crazy interesting story. I wish I knew more of it, but only got all the details while he was chain smoking and I'm just there on vacation. But he was telling me about how he's a part of the Freemasons back in the early 2000s, something like that, and how one of those wars, I don't even know all of them at the time, was absolutely for oil. And, this is common knowledge at this point, probably whatever. But he was at some meeting where he heard people talking about this. Like I said, I wish I knew the story better, but he's very I think he's a Democrat now, but he's conspiratorial in the way that he's just this old grandpa now that seems like he's just talking out of his ass. But I know he's very successful in West Virginia. So I know he was yeah.
The Freemasons are.
Yeah,
that's legit.
I mean, I think he's telling the truth, but dude cannot keep his fucking mouth shut. Yeah. He's not doing Fight Club. He's doing Fight Club.
You want to know something interesting that happened? So, he owned an auto body shop in West Virginia, and this was probably one of the biggest, most well-known auto body shops in West Virginia. And so,
yeah, there's 4 cars to fix. So.
Yeah, right.
But business was a booming.
He was in business for close to 50 years, I think. And just this last July, the shop burned down. Yeah. So crazy for our family.
During the Hawaii fires?
West Virginia, Hawaii.
Yeah, right.
Great this time of year.
But I don't know. Crazy for our family, but also just that was a big staple of the community too. So I honestly haven't even talked to him about it, but it'd be interesting to hear perspective on it. Yeah.
Wonder if the Clintons burned it down.
Could be. Yeah.
Trump.
Yeah. That's what I meant to go with that, I guess.
That'd be wild.
Freemasons coming back.
Yeah.
They knew he talked.
Living in Colorado, did you guys feel similar about voting? I felt my vote for president obviously didn't really matter in New York. And I know people say, well, like the popular vote for optics, this, and that. And yes, there was a swing, this, and that. But
I was very proud to vote. I definitely didn't feel like I was going to move any needle at all.
And I think it also comes down to local elections and like initiatives and like your state senate and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
I registered too late, so I didn't get a mail-in. And I worked poker the night before, so I slept until 6 p.m. And my dad was in town for one day. So I took a train to Brooklyn and just hung out with him and watched the election results. I'm like, hey, Dad, guess what? Ooh, I didn't vote. And he works in oil and gas. And he's like the lone liberal, like on all the boats and shit. So he's like really upset about it. And I downloaded the Blowhorn app on my phone. So anytime
oh my gosh.
they called a state for Trump, but not like a swing state, like any, like West Virginia, like, just a Puerto Rican man crying in bed in a Best Western with his son blowing an air horn. So funny, dude.
Happy birthday, Dad.
I was talking to his mother, who's 100% Puerto Rican, and I'm like, hey, do you want to hear a joke? She's like, not really. I'm like, okay, so
here's the joke.
Plays that Tony Hinchcliffe clip from MSG.
Oh, that's in the same vein. Do you know why hurricanes keep hitting Puerto Rico, Grandma? Why? God hates them too. And yeah, she didn't like it, and she said, "Don't tell your cousins that." I'm like, "Yeah, probably. Probably shouldn't be like, hey guys, nice to meet you. By the way, great weather."
I'm curious what either of you think might ever, if at all, take Trump down in terms of like things he does that gets media attention or something like that. Not even assassination, because that would just fuel the base more. But like, I don't know. I always picture a scenario where he like is off with like his team and he says like, fuck my supporters. Like, I don't give a shit about them. Like, let them
a
die.
Deplorable moment.
Yeah. Something that like reveals how he really feels about the bottom level of his base. You know what I mean?
Or poor people.
Yeah.
Like,
in general. Yeah.
I don't think anything, because I think no matter what happens, he'll be martyred by a part of a community, and it's not Trump anymore. It's kind of like a movement, and like it is, you know, cult of personality and this and that. So like no matter what, there will be supporters.
Yeah.
No matter what. And I think like even if it is something horrific, there will be people spinning the media. Oh, the media skidded this and that. Yeah, I think he's gonna just like lose his shit. Like, he's old, bro. I think he's going to get Biden brainy near the end of his term.
Yeah.
And, you know, or he'll get shot. Yeah. Seriously, like, they tried twice.
Who do you think's going to croak first, him or Biden?
Natural causes Biden.
Yeah, Biden.
Really?
Yeah, Biden.
That's so interesting.
Trump is, I got this weird, like,
I think he
will live way
genetics.
longer than he should, just because of, like, there is this weird thing throughout history where it's, like, people that want to, like, that just cannot be stopped, just live. They're like cockroach. I think he has the cockroach kind of vibe.
What it reminds me of is a drunk driver that doesn't die in the accident. You know what I mean? It's always like the guy who shouldn't survives. You know what I mean?
So bad.
No,
but yeah,
it's
I
got a redemption arc coming.
Well, but I think it's just like, you know how they say it's like it's always the good ones, like the good die too young, this and that. But I think also like the will to live, like you have to have a reason to get out of bed and this and that.
He has so much will. That's, I guess,
and
what I'm
honestly,
getting at.
like, he's one of the most egotistical, spiteful people ever. And spite is one of the most powerful, wholesome emotions you can have. I lost 50 pounds because of spite.
Have you seen the video of him at 2016 at the Correspondence Center when Barack's like, "You'll never be president," and the like look on his face? Yeah.
I've never seen.
He's like, "I will take everything you love."
I've never seen a hold my beer moment more in my life.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I remember being like, I don't know, 13, 14, watching the Donald Trump roast on Comedy Central.
Right.
And him like making
rewatch.
the declaration that he was like gonna run for president or something, and being 13 or 14 and be like, yeah, sounds like a good idea. But then, yeah, I wasn't even able to vote in 2016, actually. But,
really? You're too young?
I was like just before able to vote.
So you're 25?
I'm 26 now. I turned 18 like 2 weeks after the election.
Damn.
So your parents not fucking 2 weeks earlier lost it for Hilda.
Yeah.
Dude, that was not woke liberal of them to not plan ahead. Come on, do it for the country.
Yeah, having kids for future voting election. Yeah, that's what a move. Like, yeah, let's have as many as we can right now so that, you know, down the line they can vote
Have you seen Idiocracy?
Yeah.
Such a great documentary.
Right?
One of the best docs.
Such a great documentary.
Dude,
We need more stupid Democrats is what we need. Yeah. If that's possible. I don't know. I don't even mean to speak ill on whatever.
You said we need more stupid Democrats? What
As
are we
in,
gonna what are we gonna get, a copying machine? What?
But I just mean like
I'm a Democrat and I'm dumb as fuck.
I just mean like we need to pump them out like bunny rabbits, you know? Yeah.
Well, I will say, like the people
trads are winning the reproduction long run game.
Yeah. Well, not just that, like certain groups who just like are more likely to have kids. I had a group of Romani guys who were playing poker at my bar, and they're all like 22 to 26, and culturally they have arranged marriages young. So like 22, 3 kids, 24, 6 kids. There were like 50 people there, and they were all family. So it's like,
that's pretty sick.
Will we have a Romani president before we have a female president?
Yeah, that's the whole demographics thing that people are really concerned with in China, in places like Japan, where they're like, they don't have people replacing the population.
They have like $50,000 tax incentives in some of these countries to have a child, because like, you know, the natural to support the whole economy.
Yeah,
and you need
like
immigrants.
having children is still just like a social thing though. Like it, as much like tax breaks as we want to give for like having children, even if that was like instated next year, right? It's not going to make girls at the bar want to fuck me more. You know what I mean?
Well, I think what
have
it
my
is,
children.
Well, it's more so couples who have been together a while and they're waiting for the stability to have a child.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a band-aid for a much larger issue.
I don't know, dude. I think if there was like if you got $100K, if you got married and had a kid within the same year, and the government's like, here's $100,000 for a house, I do think certain bitches at the bar would try to settle down that aren't women now. Totally.
Very nice women.
And men, bitches that are men too, that, you know, don't want to get gay married, that are just out, you know, like seriously. So I think there would be some, but you'd have to make it significant enough. Like 20,000, it's got to be really like.
South Korea's is a shit ton. I think it's like, wow. I don't know what it is.
If they had like, you know, you get childcare and you get money to actually have ownership in a home, and the government does, you know, these XYZ things, then I really do think young American women would be like, because right now they're just struggling to, just like men, they're struggling to fucking pay the bottom line bills. They're struggling every month to pay rent. And so how can they think that they want to go like actually put in the effort it takes to cultivate a relationship?
And a lot of countries are too far gone with their population decline.
And men are pieces of shit too. I should add that note too. So why would they want to invest all that, and then guy can just fucking be a piece of shit or abusive or whatever, you know?
Yeah. I wonder like, so much of like when you're in like, let's say a red state or just like a rural area, like it seems like one of the only options is to just like have a kid. But when you're like in a more densely populated area, you have more opportunity and you see more things that you want to do, and say like, I don't want to have kids till I'm at least 30. You have more like liberty to say that. Whereas if you live in a place where people do just have big families, that might be what you aspire to.
But I think part of it is rooted in like the selfish nature of modern capitalism, because like we do have so much more of a selfish drive behind the current of culture, in that if you are in a place with opportunity, why would you settle down? Why take the risks of you know, the long run bet versus you could get rich quick if you do this and that? It's like,
well, but it's also like the American cowboy, lone cowboy. We've been sold like, oh, the American dream, you just have to pull your bootstraps up, this and that.
That's true.
Like,
you do. Have you not found your bootstraps yet?
No, but I think it's a lie to a lot of people. Like, you can't, not everyone has the means or opportunity to pull up bootstraps that don't exist.
I don't know, dude. I think there's so many justified stories of people coming from below the fucking dirt starting places that just, because like you said, grit, will, spite, whatever it may be, they make it. And so not everybody will, and it's not supposed to be that everybody will. It's that you have the opportunity to decide you're going to.
Well, but what I think how that marries back into the selfishness is like, we've been told we have to kind of figure it all out ourselves, and there is opportunity, and like capitalism I personally prefer more than most things. But yeah, I think we've just been marketed a lie, and like have been just conditioned to kind of be lone wolves and not like work on collectivism and be divided. And
Yeah, that's the big thing. There's no so the old institutions of church would allow for community basis, that in the extension of that community basis to the home domestically provided for the ability for people to reproduce large families. So now when there's this splintered diaspora of people that are at each other's throats because they think that your ideas are who you are and my ideas are who I am, and you can't take care of my kids because your ideas differ from mine. Like, no, we have no way to form these communities on a basis of like, we both agree on, 5 things and we can live our lives a different way, but like these important things are what we are going to live our lives based on to help each other to have the liberties to then, if you want to pursue stuff, go ahead. If you don't, go ahead.
The biggest issue I think the Democrats had with messaging was they were looking at it, as they often do, as identity politics and not socioeconomic. We were the party of the working class, and like unions and this and that. And like, I think we're focusing too much on what divides us. And if it was more like, we're all going through this, we're all like having a tough time, and not gaslighting the American people and like, well, the economy's up. It's like, yeah, most people are living paycheck to paycheck and don't have assets.
Well, when you say that you can feed a family of 4 for Thanksgiving for $59, like, and you're just like lying to people. Like,
it's like, so you have a turkey and no sides, maybe a $10 bottle of wine if you want to live a little. Like, I don't know. I think everything's going to be fine.
Hot take: we weren't able to pull off the $59 Thanksgiving. I don't know
what do you think your range was? What was
well over that? We had a nice Thanksgiving, and so I mean, it was not $59.
I know it took me $20 to make stuffing. So
there you go.
It's a third out of the way.
Bingo. You want stuffing? It's a fucking third of Thanksgiving now.
Stuffing, more like Robin. Come on.
Do not believe the price of cranberry sauce these days.
You a can guy? You like a can?
I like most canned goods, honestly. Oh well, for stuffing?
No, for a cranberry.
I honestly didn't eat much of that. What I thought was funny though was when I did do it with Friendsgiving and they got the canned cranberry sauce, it came out and it was just the can shape.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about the canned cranberry.
You mean modern art, the shape.
Hey,
I just wasn't expecting
it. If you tape it to a wall, give it 3 months, it'll sell for $6.2 million. Did you guys see this banana? The guy that bought it took it off the wall and ate it.
What?
Go fuck yourself.
Oh my God.
How about this? Eat a dick and die.
It's kind
6.2 million. Yeah, well, it's a
thought piece.
No, what it is absorbent wealth and tax sheltering.
This dude did just want to say fuck you.
It's just everything's a scam. Lean in and make money off the scam.
Wait, are you talking about the artist or the person that bought it?
The person that bought it.
Okay, yeah, because the artist, I actually like what they said about it, what I read about it, which was what was the thing called? Take the money and run. No, that was a blank canvas. Right. Never mind, that was a different one. I don't know about the banana story then, but
same type of deal where it's like eclectic type of representative of the problems with it, and I don't know, so silly, But yeah, the person that bought it. $6.2 million or something like that.
You better eat the duct tape.
Takes it off the wall. No, they immediately takes the banana off. The duct tape is removed by a member of the staff of the gallery because that has to be, I'm sure, retained.
That's not a part of the art.
Well, the value does come from that. It has real silver in it.
So he takes the duct tape off the wall and the guy peels the banana and the crowd, oh my God, he's eating it. Oh, and they're all just in the crowd, the art gallery, probably just jacking
themselves off.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. And
God, he gets such good fucking
and so all those things that he bought with that 6.2 million that maybe was unscrupulous, may or may not be, that gets sheltered or written off into this what is a donation to the arts of America and the culture of this country,
or trickle down economics. That 6.2 million is going to the staffers of that art museum or wherever the fuck it was, so that they can be rich assholes too.
What's funny is I used to think that there might be some type of goodwill in art in this way, in big bag money art, and then I watched some documentaries about it and research about it, and I was like, oh my God, this is quite literally, they talk about how this is a tax vehicle and a vehicle for unscrupulous things and evil practices. This is big bag art is never for good. It's almost never for good is what it seems like. It's like,
we're having some of the best young artists right now. Have you heard about this new guy coming up?
Who?
Hunter Biden. Probably the most prolific
young
one of
guy,
them.
One of 45.
Yeah, he's 50. He's coming up on the scene, and actually, he's going to be one of the most successful artists of all time, in sales.
Yeah, the next statue of David, that penis picture of his.
But do you know why? The Saudis need to rinse their money. for all the bribes for the congressman.
I mean, he's got an interesting argument.
I'm not
here.
a conspiracy theorist, guys. I'm a truthist.
It's an interesting structure of an
The
argument.
truth is in the dick pic. Truly.
No, but I mean, I think a lot of people are like, well, Hunter's paintings are selling for so much just because they're like,
Oh, I didn't even realize he was painting.
dude, like $500,000.
I was, like,
No,
only
literally,
thinking
like
about that dick pic.
$500,000, like $500,000 for his paintings, and people are like, oh, they're just like it's a slush fund for the Bidens or.
Well, he's successful
like
at painting. I guess he's not going to be the next Adolf Hitler.
Dude,
Damn.
he painted so many hookers' bags. So many. He was a real Pollock. I mean, Jackson Pollock.
Yeah,
Pollock. Sorry, my bad. Dude, every time I mix it up.
Did you say the slur every single time?
Thank God it's a white slur. Like, imagine.
It's true.
I'm sure they say really bad words in
Poland.
art museums, dude. Just rich people letting it rip.
Yeah, who knows?
Like
I bet
a private art gallery.
It's the South Park bit, another South Park bit of the San Franciscoans smelling their own farts. It's that kind of a vibe.
Well, I think it's also like it's a benefit. Like there's a benefit for like mass incarceration.
That's my
so
point.
bad.
Is it's written off for a good cause.
But let me finish. And then they drive home. And then there's like a black guy and they slowly like roll up their window. It's like, ooh. That's like how I felt about Colorado. It was like, I'm so woke. Black Lives Matter, this, and that. And then like I'd be hanging out with girls and they would see like a black person clutch their purse and like want to cross the street and stuff. And then like they posted a black square. I'm like, Jessica, come on. Jessica. But I don't know.
My ex-girlfriend from college still has a black circle as her Instagram profile picture. Isn't that hilarious?
At least she kept. I almost respect that more. She stuck with it. She stuck with the bit.
That's a bit.
She stuck with the. It's a long con, dude.
4 years later, I don't know. But
what's crazy is that like the people that ran those charities that got all that money through the response, they just bought houses and like some of them are in jail now. It's not great.
They just marketed the charity incorrectly. So like. Yeah, it's not
our Black Lives Matter. The leaders of the charity. That's how they should have.
No, it was they were investing in housing for Black America and like equity in Black America. Yeah, it was 5 guys, but like it's just a really delayed reparations. It's a really late Homestead Act for Black America for 5 guys.
For the BLM movement.
Bureau of Land It's in a way 5 guys are the Bureau of their own land management. BLM.
They kind of told you what they were doing.
Damn.
Dude, like 30% of the Western U.S. is public lands, and I just hope they don't sell it to or let other nations keep buying our public lands.
Yeah, we're like opening it up for drilling and like ruining it.
You're opening up for private buying, and it's not good.
Like what states do you think?
Just all the Western United States is like most of it.
Do you think we should have more national parks? Probably.
Yeah. Parks, no, but like lands, like BLM land, there should be like lots more BLM land, and like we should have more resources dedicated to making it managed so that we don't have bad forest fires or bad natural disasters.
I don't know. I feel like Republicans are often against like public lands and parks and often want to drill on them and fucking ruin them.
I feel like there's so much of the country that's not worth being designated public land that could be designated there's like all this awesome land, and also most of the land that's cool they can't get the oil out of or the minerals out of because it's just purely too cost prohibitive. It is too economically unviable for them to have to go in to make a gamble bet on it, and so it's better for them to drill in the middle of Kansas or Wyoming or out in the boonies, but not up in the boonies. So when you've got elevation challenges and topographical challenges, like that makes it way more expensive.
There's oil, and there's beautiful places with oil. But I will say, I think it's not a black and white issue. And I think Teddy Roosevelt's a great example of that. And conservationism is like essentially you're conserving. So you still extract resources, but in like a better manner. You can protect parks, but you can also, drill responsibly in some of it. You can cull forest and get lumber in sustainable ways. You can plant more trees. So I think I'm more of a conservationalist as opposed to like a black or white guy. You know, like
You're a white guy, let's be honest.
You mean like black or white guy? Like,
on the issue of
it
like,
depends on day,
yeah.
whatever's convenient.
Yeah.
Keep losing my train of thought.
You have a train?
That's all we have. I don't have a car,
broken down
bro.
Camry.
First of all, no, I literally
Your
all I
brain's
have
on public transit?
I only have a train. I once got on the train and it was like after poker and it was like 6 or 7 in the morning. I look in there's just 11 to 12 guys just sleeping all on the seats. And there's just like one scared white woman. I'm like, fuck yeah, I get on, of course. And it's just migrants. It's like migrants who literally have nothing but their clothes on their back.
Do you ever like feel bad about like seeming like you might scare somebody on the sidewalk late at night or something like that? This happened to me last week. This is so stupid. Like I'm walking to this cafe that I go to, and there's just like a neighborhood cat walking around, and I'm like stopping to pet it and stuff, and then it starts like walking with me, so I'm walking with it. But then it's like late at night, and some woman walks by me, and I can tell she's like trying to veer off away from me. But I'm like, I swear to God, there's a cat right here. Just be
Come
chill,
back. I'm not going to do anything.
Nothing's gonna happen. I'm hanging out with this cat, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe yours later if you play your cards right. Hey.
I'm trying to seem like a nice, sensitive guy with my cat.
Yeah. I kidnapped this cat and I can kidnap you and give you a loving. Okay. Respectfully.
You see how I attract pussy, lady?
No, but I mean,
I wanted to go there, but I was like, oh gosh. You watch that Costco guys stuff?
Oh no. I've seen it, but I don't watch it.
That's so, like I'm not on TikTok or any like major social medias right now, I guess, but like
that's good. Are you happier? Do you find you're happier?
Yeah, I mean it's been like 4 years that I've been off most big ones. Like Instagram I've been off 4 years, Twitter as well, but like TikTok I've been on like infrequently over the past couple of years, but like at least right now I'm not on anything. Feels great. But I mean, life's still a mess. It's just sort of like, you know, I'm not doom scrolling all the time, I guess.
I think it's less in your face, right? I mean, if you're always doom scrolling, it's like you're told about awful things that you have no control over, and then you're shown thousands of people who are living better lives than you, and ignorance it's not normal.
Yeah, genuinely. But yeah, so but like still every once in a while I catch myself like learning about a trend and then being like, fuck, that is kind of catchy for some reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's also like nicer to get the delay of like I mean, why the fuck do I need to know about the Mike Tyson interview with a 14-year-old girl? Yeah. And like, why do I need to think that's the funniest thing I've seen on a Tuesday? But like, you know, like I could see that a month from now and it's just as fun. So
it's like binging Netflix shows. Like I like the whole season out. You can just binge like internet trends. It's like, oh, planking, T-bowing, nice. It's 2024. Like
I'm 12 years in the rear.
Yeah. It's like so Amish don't use electricity, but I think Mennonites, their whole thing is like they're 20 years behind technology or something.
I know you like that, Mennonite. Come on.
I like Men and but so I think it's kind of like Mennonites. You know, you do the internet, you have a 20-year delay, you're just in the fields working. It's like, oh, Hillary lost the election? No way. It's 2035.
No way. 3 elections have passed since the last time I saw daylight.
No, they're just plowing the fields, dude. The pigeon brings the message. Planking. Wow.
What is this America you speak of?
That would be so sick to have like a pigeon messenger.
Dude, Mike Tyson got famous for being a pigeon guy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No, but you heard about that, how he got super into messenger pigeons?
No, that's sick.
They have a whole documentary about it, and like
Mike Tyson?
Yeah. And even the cartoon, that's why there's like pigeons in it, and he plays a pigeon in it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he got like super into training messenger pigeons, I think.
That's so funny.
It's like this guy who went to jail for certain things. You can look it up. The guy who bit off a guy's ear, you know, did some wild shit. It's like, my pigeons.
Don't touch the pigeons.
Like you take enough mushrooms, you're just like, I really
beautiful pigeons.
You get enough into mushrooms. I'll let my emotions go. Like how let these pigeons go.
I'm gonna send you a message. Where do you live? I'm gonna send my
pigeon will find you.
Yeah, terrifying for Mike Tyson to ask where you live, and you see like a bouquet of flowers brought to you by a pigeon. Yeah,
I know she didn't send any pigeons back.
Wait, I didn't send pictures
are we
back,
non-speaking
Mike?
terms?
Oh, pigeons. Oh, play some pictures, Mike.
It's been 3 pigeons, 3 weeks. No pigeons back, huh?
I was going to send pictures later tonight. Who's on first? You guys read any...
Are pigeons real?
Yes, but the
real
rest of the
in that they are
not.
government drones.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're real motherfuckers, dude. They're the realest motherfuckers in New York. Pigeons? They're not phased by anything. I could literally like be a half an inch from them, and they'd be like, "Why the fuck are you in my way?" Like they won't. Like a semi will be coming, and they're like, "Why is this fucker not braking?" See, they don't fly. They're too fat to fly. So it's like a chicken, you know. Maybe a little air. That's about it.
Really?
Oh,
are they pests? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, we did them dirty, dude. Like we bred them to have like this certain case usage, and then we abandoned them. Yeah,
I guess I mean like I don't know the actual classification for this, but like in Florida, alligators are considered, or crocodiles, one of them are considered pests. Because
like, could you kick a pigeon in the face in front of a cop and not get charges? I think is what he's asking.
I think that would just be the hardest that cop ever
can you go, hey, Mr. Officer, you see this pigeon? And then you just step on, curb stomp its neck. Is that officer just going to be like, have a good day?
Step 1 is curb stomping pigeons. Step 2 is punching white women in the face. That's New York, yeah.
Yeah, and both of those, the cop would literally pull out their cock and start jerking off. They love violence. They love violence. I don't. I personally, every time violence on the ballot, no. I vote no.
Oh, yeah, when the violence question comes up, Proposition 1, violence. Yes or no? He's like, oh, finally an issue I can understand.
Yeah, what happens when the proposition for the purge comes up? Do you think people vote yes on that as a meme and then it becomes an actual thing?
I don't think you'd ever get it on the ballot. Yeah. But if you could, let's just say we can get it on the ballot. I think the first time it's on the ballot, it's going to be like, you're going to lose by a lot.
Yeah.
And then I think you're going to get some more, give it 2 or 3 cycles.
Statehood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty soon people are like, come on.
Public opinion shifts.
Taxation, representation, purge, These are the foundational ideals of America. I think you come around to it after a bit.
You just see people.
Have you seen these people on the streets?
You see people diagnosing themselves with autism on TikTok, and it's like, maybe.
Yeah, maybe some.
A purge. What was that question in the last election? Do we vote no? Do you know if they're going to put that in the next one?
I misread that one. Can we get that back? No, I mean, I've been talking about, like, I want...
It would encourage early voting. Just have the election on the day of the purge.
I think I want a genocide, but non-discriminatory.
Oh, yeah.
Just everyone. Like, 10% of everyone.
Hey, the asteroids are coming.
Leftovers were, like... 2%, like, just you get rid of the bottom 2% of society.
I don't know. Call that a pandemic.
Hey-o. Come on.
Yeah.
Now we just have to wait for a real one to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, something I do think about is like how much it shut down for like that statistically low amount of people dying. Imagine if it was 30%, bro. Like, I was watching Contagion right when it started. Like, oh, dude, Matt Damon can't even save us. We're so fucked, dude. But it would be, for the bit, it would be kind of fun.
For the bit.
Like, it'd be cool if you could just, like, respawn, like, in real life. It's like,
you should sit down with Fauci. I think you and him agree on one thing, and that's pandemics are fun for the bit.
And, shareholders.
Do you ever think about life from the perspective of, like, what if it is all a simulation, and then consider, like, well, I guess at that point it'd be fine if I die. Like, there's other shit going on,
My whole thing is, this is all I know. Make the best of it. There might be something more. If I die, I'll be dead, and then I'll figure it out then. Figure out everything else then. And if there's nothing after, guess what? I'll be dead, and it won't matter.
Take everything in stride.
And, legacy, who gives a fuck? Like, what, 3 generations remember?
What 14-year-old girl, back to the Mike Tyson. 14-year-old girl. Iron Mike, he's got to do press for the big Jake Paul fight. So this 14-year-old girl, sweetheart, she just wants to be Doris Burke someday, right? She's got a dream and a question to ask Mike. She goes, Mike, when it's all said and done and you finally hang up the gloves, what do you want your legacy to be? He goes, legacy. What a silly question. Legacy. Everybody's obsessed with legacy. Why should I even care about legacy?
Mushrooms.
The legacy's ridiculous and silly. When I'm dead, I'm gone. I'm dead, I'm gone. I'm dead, gone. Death. When we die with dust, we're nothing. We're gone. With death, we're nothing. He ends it. Long pause. And the sweet girl goes, well, I haven't thought about it like that way. Never heard that. Thank you for sharing your perspective.
I know, like 14-year-old girl. Oh my God. Fucking, gosh. But he had like a death scare back in like June or something, is what I heard recently, right?
Yeah.
Was that I don't know timeline wise. Do you remember when they were first planning the fight?
I think that's why. That's why they maybe had to delay
death scare.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, maybe some health complications or something. But
he had like multiple surgeries for sure. That I do remember that.
And
but I
then
don't
he
know
was
what
like,
for.
let's fight this kid in his 20s.
Yeah, right.
The surgery, healthcare is so fucked in America that just to pay for his medical bills, he needed $10 million and fought a 27.
He's a pussy. You too, pussy.
Do you think he has a list because he's just such an operator with eating pussy? Do you like he's just such a pro with the game? He has like, or was it a career? It was a career-ending injury.
Yeah.
For just eating girls out, a tongue injury.
My tongue suck.
That's how you get out of eating people. I had a career-ending injury.
I was watching the Boys cast, and there was a study that like eating out women statistically is more likely to give you cancer than smoking cigarettes.
It's true, throat cancer.
And I was just thinking, it's really funny. Like they can't say shit, dude. It's like, honey, I love you so much. I'm putting my life on the line for you. I would die for you, baby. You can't let me borrow the car? No, my buddy was talking about that today. He's like, she doesn't pay rent. I pay for everything in the house, and, you know, she's doing the insurance pyramid scheme. No, there's something. And I asked her to borrow her car just to help a buddy move, and she says, well, my lease, I want to keep the mileage down. And he's like, I took the bus yesterday.
Rough.
Yeah. Don't move in with people after dating them 3 months, folks.
That's good life advice.
This is a joke about a person with a name.
Where do we think we're headed in the next 4 years? Should we just hang on for... I'm sitting in the camp of I would like to just laugh at how it's all crumbling, but...
What I've liked seeing is that it doesn't feel like people are as devastated as they were 8 years ago, you know? And it sort of just seems like, well, we're going back to another 2016 to 2020. It feels like... It feels like we won't generally feel anything. There's definitely going to be like a lot of activism and people like screaming out the, you know, horrible things that are probably going to happen. But at the end of the day, like our lives are pretty much going to stay the same, I think.
I think people catastrophize. So they built something up to be the worst possible scenario. And that's how they built up 2016. And then we lived through it. And, you know, for a lot of people, they viewed it as bad. But I don't think it was nearly as bad as a lot of people thought it could be or as it could have been. And now that we've seen it, it's just like, oh. Yeah. And I think everyone's just fucking over everything. It's like 2016, that was pre-COVID. Then the Biden shit. And then the assassination attempt, this, and that. And I think many things in life are pendulums, so we go from extremes. But I think by being super divided, I think we're kind of somewhat. I've noticed people coming together a little bit more, and like I feel it does feel different. And also like it swings the other way within politics. You go liberal to Democratic, and it's like, yeah, I don't think my day-to-day life is going to change. And I think really what the healthiest thing I've been trying to do is like selective apathy. Like realizing what I can actually change.
Yeah.
And like what I can actually affect. And when we're inundated by the news and shit that's happening, it's like, well, what, are you going to vote on everything they do? No, that's not how this works. Are you going to like stay up at night about all the kids dying in wars?
They will still die in wars if you do. Yeah.
Honestly, no. But it's just like, if you feel helpless, do small things in your community. Yeah. And that's really what it is. I think people get caught up in their own shit too much, and when you step outside of yourself and just try to help other people or have a conversation with a friend or be anything, just
lame.
It's just and also if it's like a little thing, if you can make someone's day better and it's not too much of a burden on you, why wouldn't you? And I believe in the butterfly effect of kindness.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting.
Well, you got to start being kind.
Hey, Sean, fuck off.
Be well.
But at the end of the day, like the very few things that really affect people's day-to-day lives are like great recessions and of course the pandemic, you know, which, you know, caused another recession too. But like those are the only things that I can think of in history. Like war would, of course, too, but we haven't had one that.
Yeah, but what's that good for?
Yeah. But
absolutely nothing.
But it's sort of just like what are people going to notice about their actual like day-to-day lives? If we're talking like just another Trump presidency that is just 4 years of retarded headlines. I don't know if I can say that, but
you can say
yeah,
it's a free speech zone.
Yeah. like whatever the craziest headlines you could even imagine or not imagine, you know what I mean? Like your life is still relatively the same, you know? But, you know, who knows? Maybe we could have another pandemic. Maybe we could go to war. I'd personally love to go fight in Ukraine. Just saying.
Doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, I mean, Russia
Trench
needs the help,
warfare.
dude. I get it. I have been problematically saying, like, yeah, Western Russia keeps getting funding from us. I don't get it. I think there will be probably a little less American involvement in war. I don't want to say less war, because I think there could still be more war within the world. But I think he's a protectionist. And, like, I don't think that's necessarily good for other countries, but maybe it is.
Yeah.
But I think protectionism can go too far. And I'm most worried about the tariffs, I think.
Yeah.
Truly. Like,
if prices increase, like, that'll be something that everybody notices. Prices going skyrocketing, you know what I mean?
It's, I think, something that's kind of, like, misunderstood about the way he implemented tariffs before and the way it looks like the tariffs are planning to be implemented this time is that they're not just traditional trade tariffs. They're more of like, I'm a businessman with economies of scale over my competitor, and I'm going to let you continue to be in business, but you have to do these things this way, or I could just eat you. And you cannot be you cannot do business anymore. And so it's a prisoner's dilemma game that he sets up with these tariffs, and it allows, I think, both us and the other side to find a better outcome that's workable for both people. So on their face, they have bad economic impacts, but when they actually play out in execution, everybody actually comes a little... It's a weird, like, diplomatic strategy, actually, I think.
Honestly, now that I think about it, too, like, the intention is to potentially maybe bring manufacturing back to the United States, and that would only ever happen if it became cheaper to do it here than it is to have everything produced in China and shipped over here.
And the only way it would be cheaper is that we, like, front load a ton of investment in it, which... to cripple a competitor. So it'd be like, okay, so now we're going to go to economical war with you as businessmen, basically, of manufacturing steel. And, you know, we're not... Anyone that we've got relationships with are distributors for our other products, like bananas. Oh, everybody sells us bananas from Argentina. Hey, Argentina, you're not buying Chinese steel anymore. You're going to get it from us. Oh, because you still want to sell us bananas. And so there's this domino excise effect of what happened in World War I, where, you know, you had someone died, and then there's these treaties and downflow treaties of commitments into actions.
Yeah, there's a big hubbub after that.
Same type of hubbub thing happens with economic shifts like this, where it's like, no. They, Iran, guess what? They're doing unscrupulous things, and always there's some veil of, you know, usually some self-interest and greed. History seems to suggest it, but so usually there's someone in the U.S. that wants to get involved because they're going to make money off it, which seems like BlackRock is interested in the Ukraine for the farmland, I hear.
They're interested in money, and I get it.
And the OnlyFans models, I've heard. Yeah.
Isn't it crazy that some girl made more than a max NBA contract this year?
Jesus.
$43 million.
I saw that figure. I didn't know about the NBA.
Well, like more Jason Tatum makes $35 million a year.
Wow.
It's crazy. And
she's an athlete. What can we say? Yeah.
She's a gymnast.
I don't even think that person is like a... Like, I don't think they're like a OnlyFans person. Like, I don't think they do that kind of... Like, I think it's literally just like nude pictures. And it's like, that's crazy that 43 million can come from nude pictures.
Yeah, and I fucking... Poor as fucking had to develop a personality.
You're a man.
No, I'm saying, like, if you're attractive enough, as no matter your gender, if you're attractive enough, that's the biggest thing. Attractive enough, or have more even than having money.
I saw a cool study that came out this week of the impacts, just speaking of COVID impacts. Remote learning harms attractive females excise more than it does attractive males. So attractive people do better in classroom learning and online than unattractive people. But when attractive men are in the classroom versus attractive men are in the Zoom, they still get their attractive points the same way. But when women aren't in person and you can't look at them, their bodies, the professors don't grade them as highly.
Wow.
It's just a face on a screen, sweetheart. You're not that good looking.
It's really crazy.
Fascinating.
If I can't get you in off their hours.
You're not coming to office hours? Sorry.
Yeah.
That's going to be a B.
It's really crazy you're saying women can't get work done without men around. I personally think they can. I think they all can.
You going
the
on
best
the record
workers.
with that, Sean?
Yeah, that was my stance.
Say it into my
Those
shirt.
words.
I don't work for anyone. Say it into my shirt. Well, what's right above the deep state? I want like the subterranean state.
It's like
Iceberg of states.
it's like the top of the bottom. It's like just underwater of the iceberg or whatever.
The shallow state.
So, So the top of the government we know, like they're the interns for what's right above, like a lot, like not as intense as the deep state. So I think it'd be funny to have like an office-esque comedy and like, oh, Barry, the clumsy intern, is just Barack like spilling coffee.
Oh, dude, I would love that. Actually, I was a page for the Arizona House of Representatives, and there was so much just like fuckery in that little office. That we had.
Gosh.
Yeah, and did you ever hear the story about like this was the United States Senate, not any state. Two guys like had sex in the state hearing room, something like that. That's hilarious. That would definitely be part of like the real lives of state pages.
Maybe you'd call it like the subberg, like government or something, and it would be like these people that are, they're all they do is paperwork for the Illuminati. Like, goddamn, another fucking form, dude. Why have we not eliminated this form? And it's just speaking into some like dark void, and he's like, the form must stay. The form clogs up the systems.
They have like whoever's president at the time, so it's Trump. He's just like their gimp. He's on a leash, and he's just like he has golden retriever energy, and he's just like licking everyone. He's like super happy to see everyone. Barry the temp, and then they just like, all right, boy, good boy. All right, we're gonna build a wall. Come on.
I would love somebody to satirize the United States politics as just like exactly how Star Wars went. You know what I mean? And just like play everything out like it's, I don't know, maybe make the good guys win. We obviously didn't this time, so fuck it. But
it's a Shyamala, M. Night Shyamala ending. The twist is the good guys don't win. His later movies haven't been as good.
It'd be hilarious if there was like an Emperor Snoke of like U.S. politics. Or,
there is.
John McCain.
No, well, I mean, it's more of like the big money behind everything.
It's someone whose name we will never. It's someone's name we'll never know.
Well, yeah, it's the heirs to old money and also the now owners of new money.
Yeah, my ancestors actually invented currency, so we've had a good go. Just like in Egypt, it's like, yeah, we just, have you heard of coins? Yeah, my last name, I'm Dave Coin. Nice to meet you.
Dave Coin, nice to meet you.
From the Coin Fund. No, not crypto. We believe in real assets.
Dave Money, you've probably heard of me. Or at least my family.
I'm the guy who started edible underwear, Just something I've been enjoying saying is like, all my money's tied up in debt. Or just like obscure things. It's like all my money is like tied up in
David
lawnmowers.
David Tells was I invest in he did ivory, then Confederate flags in the latest special, I think. Yeah,
he's
David Tell, huge Confederate flag guy.
No,
watch the special.
No, so funny.
Did you watch Jesselnick's new special?
I haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
Yeah, very good.
He's so
Did
funny.
you get to see it live last year?
I saw it.
I was working.
Pretty recently. I went to California and I was at the store, and he had an amazing set, dude. Nice. So tight, murdered.
Wow,
so good. I was also with a woman who found it very funny.
Oh, cool.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Green flag, I guess.
Huh.
I was just talking about red flags at Friendsgiving with some friends, and like they were asking me if I had any
giving
red
or
flags.
friends.
Red flags. I've never.
They were asking me if I had any red flags after like going around in a circle of all women and they're telling their red flags, and I was just like, you know what, my red flag is not having sex with me. Honestly, like very embarrassing of you. Yeah.
Or did you bomb?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Anyway, I took them all home. No, seriously, I gave them all a ride, and they didn't even give me gas money.
Oh, you can smile bigger than that. Come on. Live pics. Live pod pics. Real trap shit.
I want to recreate that painting of like the old guy and the woman with the pitchfork.
Yeah. American Gothic.
Yeah. We need more of, tight-knit family units.
Iowa.
Yeah, that Democratic state.
That's where
You heard the poll.
Well, we
right.
heard the poll.
Thank God for Ann Seltzer. Giving us hope in the last second.
She almost won it for us, dude. She almost stole it.
I'm telling you, if your last name is a beverage, your polls reliable.
Hey, Dave Beverage.
You see Mike Pepsi's Georgia?
Yeah, she comes from, I guess that would be New Money Seltzers, huh? She's in the White Claw family.
The White Claw. I'm an heir to the
Bud Light
I guess
that could theoretically be like Harry Potter houses, like White Claw, High Noons. We're from the Pellegrinos.
That would be. Send word to the Pellegrinos of our new conquest. We've acquired Anheuser-Busch.
What would Slytherin be? It would have to be something like
Liquid Death would be Slytherin.
nefarious. No, it's too long. It has to be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Absinthe.
Yeah, that would be. It would also be fun to do that with like water companies where there's like, oh, we're glass bottles here.
And then what's it? Dasani, like Hufflepuff is like the shittiest water. Yeah. Voss is the premium Gryffindor.
You guys real water drinkers? Do you?
Yeah, from the tap in New York all the time.
Oh, okay. Is that bad?
They actually have better than expected water. They actually have good water.
Mm-hmm.
But my worry is the pipes.
Lead.
Well, no. So only Flint. That was actually the only place in America that had lead in any pipes. So that's good.
Damn.
Actually, when I moved in, they give us a warning that that's not the case.
I thought you just hated the environment. That's why we're always having bottled water. Oh, you're a liberal who believes in lead poisoning. Grow up.
Oh, dude. Do we want to take a quick pause and kind of flip over to a little after hours?
Yeah, I'd love to do a little rig hit.
Rig hit
for Jesus. Might fuck around and have food. I don't know.
We'll be right back. You're listening to 91.1. Oh shit, was that another plane? We'll be right back.
I'm walking back to New York.
We're back. We're live. It's the After Hours show. Makana's got a donut.
I was just thinking a good bit that I feel like would work for you would be like a fake ad for like a boner pill commercial.
Oh, dude, I do this one. I've been having fun doing this one joke. It's kind of in that vein.
Okay.
You can tell the government's full of shit when they use adverbs in their advertisements. Nobody else can get away with that. If you drive high, cops can definitely tell. You never see a boner ad company using that in their advertisement. Like, you take Rhino 5000, your cock will definitely stay hard.
You will quickly come.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I don't think the adverb comedy is the niche.
You don't?
I don't think so.
Huh? Well,
I like it. I don't even think you need to use the word adverb. Just like say that government commercials could never, boner pill ads could never sound like.
You can't sell boner pill ads like the government can.
No, government ads would be so much better if they sold it like they do boner pills. I think there could be something there.
Okay, come at it a different way.
Oh,
right. So
like
then you
maybe make a political ad
policy.
sexual.
Do you want to last longer, big boy? Universal healthcare for all. You know, like just sexy. It's like.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. The government should take some notes from boner pill ads because these things are selling like hot.
Or even beer commercials.
Right. Because these, they're selling like hotcakes.
Yeah. If I had Shane Gillis like selling me government policy, I'd be like, yeah, he's an everyman. He gets me. Fuck yeah.
Well, how would they advertise like against drunk driving though?
What's advertising?
I see.
Like if you drive high, cops can definitely tell.
Are you trying to make it sexual like a boner pill commercial?
What was the other vein instead of boner pill was
beer commercials.
Beer commercial.
Right.
I think beer commercials could be really funny. Like sex sells and this and that.
Yeah.
Your boys are hanging at home. It's the Friday night, but you don't get here if you drive high and veer off the road into a ravine.
Yeah.
You don't want your boys in a ravine. You want to be at your bar with your boys.
Yeah.
That's the story.
Perfect. Yeah.
You're a guy. You like to fuck. You know what you can't do when you die? Fuck.
Exactly. That's
government against drunk driving. Be cool and fuck.
You drive high, you're not gonna get to fuck. You might crash and die.
Yeah.
Is it worth it to get high before you drive? Nah, drive to the place, then you get high, then you can fuck.
It's like, what would a DARE program be that would actually work? I think what it is you have a time machine and you bring your future friends who are like strung out on drugs and how bad it is for them. It's like, see this? You want this? No. Put that fucking cigarette out to me now. Like there's something. It's like,
or like,
what would be the DARE program that works? Is the question, or the prompt, I should say.
The DARE program that works in this vein of your idea. What if it's like a Night Before Christmas vibe? So he gets like his uncle. And then a friend.
He's visited by 3 ghosts.
Yeah. And then his mentor turns out to be a piece of shit in the future because of his addiction issues. So he like loses all these 3 important facets of his life. And he's like, I'm going to not let myself be one of these people for the people in my life.
The 3 ghosts of addictions past.
Yeah, there we go.
That's good. Yeah. 3 ghosts. Maybe that's the end of the episode. 3 ghosts of addictions past.
Or present. Hey.
Come on.
I have no addictions.
Yeah, dude.
For the audio listener, I'm still motioned to my vape.
I'm still trying to carve out like a 30-minute like special, like a one-off project side thing of like vaping, like the vaping special. Of like, kind of getting at like, some philosophical tenets through the lens of vaping and like modern things through the lens of like of my crippling fucking vape addiction. It's the one thing I can't quit. I've quit every fucking other thing else that I've had trouble with. Yes, of Irish and Cuban lineage, addicted to, things and don't like power. I get it. It runs in the family, but
I think maybe work on your 10 first and then we can do 30 on just vaping.
No, I'm saying like, it's like a 3-year from now, like goal of like, I'm like starting to try to like carve out little side stuff.
I think it'd be really funny if there was like intermission of just you doing vape tricks.
That would be fun.
Like, I like that. Doing the tornado.
Yeah.
Like it's magician crowd work.
That's
with
actually
vaping.
really funny. There should be 2 intermissions at 10 minutes each so that I can vape on stage. Also, one of the premises of the idea would we confiscate everyone's vapes on the way in. And then one of the bits is like, after like if they pull back and start like not really sticking me when I go to some edgier part of the stuff, you go, all right, guys, you're not with me. Hang on. I pull out the bag of everybody's vapes and I reach into the bag and I grab out one vape and some fucker in 9G stands up. My vape! That's my vape!
Yeah. Holy shit.
And you go, oh, you want it, pig?
Vape
You want
game
your little
show.
vape game show? Right?
Jeez.
So then you're making like meta comedy out of the fact that you've got everybody.
But
and then you're also pissing off the crowd because you get to vape on stage.
Here's the thing. Addiction's real. How do you pry that shit from their hands? If someone was like, I need your phone and your vape, I'd be like, what's a vape? I would keister my vape. I would keister my vape.
Going through customs, come on.
Bro. If I don't, who will? If I don't, who will?
The man in the arena. Vape in the ass.
Dude, the vape was in my arena, bro.
Man in the arena, vape in the ass. Just saying.
Jeez.
Anyway, I would never vape anywhere inside, ever. Businesses respect it too much.
Have you ever thought about doing just like a skit on the podcast, like writing one for each episode?
Writing like
something like a boner pill ad or something like that.
I think if there's one premise you talk about on every episode, and then you could also do a mini sketch from it,
that'd be fun.
It's a lot of work, but not necessarily. I think also a lot of people. Perfectionism is the lack of prep. Like, I don't think it has to be perfect. You just need to, like, for sketches, you kind of just have to sit down and start, and a lot of the good shit comes from the improv.
Well, we're doing it tomorrow, so you better fucking apply that same kind of drive and work ethic to tomorrow, because your opportunity is right here.
Hey, are not my real dad, okay? Just because you have a stepdad shirt on doesn't mean you're somebody and you can't tell me what to do, right? And I will be there and I will support you.
No, we need you. You're the quote guy.
I'm the head. I wrote half the book, folks.
None of it.
Do you know how many?
Even I made the quote better than he wanted it to be.
Counting
let's be honest.
in this book, dude. You nowhere near half.
It's a satire. Yeah, nowhere. This guy. Stolen valor. Stolen book valor.
Speaking of, my buddy just ran the New York City Marathon, and he came to the bar and we all got fucked up.
You let him come in the bar?
No, in my keister hole. No,
Is that the name of the bar? Keister hole?
No.
The guy,
he had the medal and everything, and then we all got fucked up, and I just started taking pictures with the medal on and posting on my Instagram story, just saying things like "You're welcome."
This guy.
Speaking of stolen valor,
The only thing this guy likes to steal more than condoms is valor.
what's a condom?
Hey, you're right.
Condom. Que paso, güey? What?
What?
Hablas español. Condom.
Sí.
Sí.
Sí, un poco de español.
Boca de bapa de bo. Boca de bapo.
No, it's español.
Some Chinese for you.
Yeah.
Do you guys speak any other languages?
A little bit of Spanish.
My Spanish is...
My comprehension is way better than my speaking, but
I live with 3 Spanish speakers, but I barely... Like, I would say the same thing. Like, decent comprehension, but my actual, like, sentence structure and conjugations, that's where I struggle more. Pronunciation. But I'll, like, speak to people in Spanish who are native speakers, and like, oh, you actually know, like, more than I expected. And then white people who don't speak Spanish would be like, you're so bad at... No, they're like, you're so bad at Spanish. Like, what was that? Like, your accent's horrible. It's like, you don't even try.
Classic
you don't even
haters,
try to understand any other community or culture. You're just hating on someone trying. And,
well, that's
and
my
people
new...
in the and like I think Latinos specifically, but just people in general, just really appreciate you like putting in the effort.
Yes.
And like, you know, just trying to understand the culture and like, yeah.
One thing, because I've been asked by some people that are a bit older, like, what's in your generation? Questions about my generation and whatever. The frustration I have come to, and that's building in me, are 2 things. It is the first, what you were just speaking to. It's that kind of mindset around, you know, being a... God, what's the right way to put it? They walk through existence thinking that like the world's caving to them. Like, is it main character syndrome or whatever they...
What do you mean by caving to them?
Like, will cave to... Thinking that it will cave to them, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
know.
I think it's... Everyone thinks they're the main character because of like social media and this and that. And like, I think we're inflated the possibilities of what is realistic. Like, I don't think everyone's going to be a famous Instagram star.
So I think, sorry, I remember where I was going. So because of that, like, people then think that trying is not cool, or like building something is not worth it because it's like you're not going to be the big person. So there's like a defeatism. Some people take that defeatism path, and then some people are taking like that untrue or like manipulative path of the current circumstance to not be really like themselves or people, or just take advantage of like, oh, putting out just clips of something to, you know, make revenue that's not really a thing, or, you know, capturing other. It just, we seem lost to the idea that the best part of being a cognitive person is just engaging with the cognitive personhood.
Something I have been thinking about, and I don't know the correct verbiage to put this, but bear with me. You know the poem by Rupert Kipling, White Man's Burden?
No.
So have you heard of White Man's Burden?
I don't think so.
So it's colloquial, it's like a term used, and it's essentially, it's like, as a white person, it's my burden to elevate and save all these people of color. And it's just racist within itself because white people think they're so much better than other people that only they can save, like people they view as disenfranchised. And Rupert Kipling's the guy who wrote the Jungle Book. He's a British guy who grew up in India. And, you know, obviously, not only does India have a caste system, but above that caste was the British government when they had control of India. So he wrote a poem about that was very like racist and known to be racist, about how essentially it's white people's responsibility to pull all these people out of poverty. And it ties into Manifest Destiny, like, oh, like we need to...
God wants us to help these poor people of color that can't help themselves.
Become civilized.
That's the white man's burden.
Is this not well received now?
So what I'm tying this into is I feel like a lot of these woke people, in a weird way, without them necessarily even realizing it, it's kind of racist within itself. And it's people who
wow.
And what I really noticed in Colorado is all these people who thought they were woke, but they were white people who didn't know people different than them. And I felt like they didn't understand these communities enough. And they're like, well, you know, they're all just poor or bad, whoever that monolith or group they think is. And they need saving, and I'm automatically guilty because I'm better than everyone, therefore I'm guilty. And I'm going to prove I'm better than everyone by helping.
They stand on the pedestal of privilege that they've created now. And that pedestal of privilege is used in the same way and the same logical, like, poor structure that white man's burden was. That we're up here, you know, and everything else should be that we cater and try to help this that cannot help itself. That's different and worse in some way, which is like so fucking...
What a responsibility, all right? Honestly.
It's about the back pain from the burden.
Number two got this guy, by the way.
Wait, there's something else I was going to say. White man's burden. Fuck, it was right there.
Yeah, so the modern like wokes kind of inbred.
Wokes.
Thinking that the...
Understanding cultures. Fuck, it's right there. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to come right back. Sorry.
It's okay. So Rhodesian mindset in America.
Rhodesian, what do you mean?
Remember Rhodesia, the country of Rhodesia? Is in Africa. Oh, Rhodesia. Another
man.
British colony.
I'm so bad with history.
And Rhodesia was a British colony where, you know, the wealth disparity between the average Rhodesian citizen and then the British person that was colonizing it.
Sorry, I remember. Something about the Black Lives Matters movement. You know, they're like, get rid of the police, this and that. But a big part of it was like more gun control.
Right.
I think that was also part of it. And like, you know, but laws that are put on the books disproportionately hurt people of color. Gun laws, new gun laws, it disproportionately hurt people of color. So if you're a black gun owner and you're more likely to be stereotyped by the police. So I think it's a matter of good intentions and often not understanding communities. And like, I don't think these people are bad. I think some of them do have good intentions. It's not like a monolith. Like there's different groups and like a lot of gray, but.
And has that grown, your perspective on that's grown with engaging with more of them.
So that's what I really like about New York is like, here, it kind of felt all performative and like doing it for people who aren't even here and that you don't understand. And like, well, I'm posting online, but I'm not helping my community. And like in New York, I feel like it's just kind of like, I don't care. It's kind of like comedy. I don't care who you are, what you look like, where you come from. It's like, are you cool? Are you a good hang? Cool. And yeah, more understanding and not just like, and like, if you say something out of pocket, guess what? There's people there who can be like, yo, you probably shouldn't say that.
Also, more understanding, you only get there through engaging. And I've talked about this for some time. I think the left has this problem more than the right, in my experience of being engaging with both sides. The left has their defenses up or this pedestal of privilege. And when they engage in discourse, they bring that to the discourse. So they don't actually grow in any understanding because they aren't willing to engage with people that they view as here or Nazis or whatever. And so this problem persists. They don't actually get the understanding. And so they still think that they're on this pedestal of privilege, completely removed from whatever monolith they think is not able to pick themselves up or needs their assistance in their care, more than anything, their care.
Even in high school, like we went to high school in Louisville, which is I think our school was like 90% white.
Crazy.
95% white. A really crazy amount. And a lot of people are pretty fucking racist. And at first I'm like, oh, like that's just how kids are because I didn't know any better. And then I've, met more people from different communities and I understood like, no, that's just not okay at all. But what I realized is there are not people different than them to check them. And I think like people in New York will always surrounded by different groups that there's more checking. So it's like, I think a lot of racism stems from ignorance and just not understanding communities. Like, and I think that's what I saw in Colorado. And something that I did not like about some of Colorado is like the hidden racism is like the not as overt racism, like being followed around in a store, shit like that. I think is a lot more common. And white people who live in Colorado don't know that. Like, cause I definitely have some black friends in Colorado and they would just tell me it's like the subtle racism that's like more, and how they would prefer the more in your face so they know where they stand. Right. As opposed to like, where do I stand? And like
the unknown is another layer of like,
you guys know about like the Trump Towers, rule to not rent to black people back in like the 70s. Yeah, that's like the whole basis for one big lawsuit, and why anybody that says Donald Trump is just a racist uses that as their first argument.
Gotcha.
And that's like understandable if we're talking like by court proceedings, but like other people argue against that saying that's not him now. Like that's him in the past.
Can we
He's
just also
changed.
just say
He's
like
changed?
Can we also just
Trump's
say
just a boy, like a
the civil rights movement was like still going on at the end of the 60s. It's like you want your grandpa to not say crazy words. And it's like, oh, corporation was racist right after the civil rights movement. I thought we solved it right then and there. Don't get me wrong, racism bad.
Well, if you look at the
do I
data,
think Trump is sometimes pretty fucking racist? Yeah.
Makana, if you look at the data after we elected Barack Obama, things got way better in terms of racial tensions and the way that races view each other.
Racism ended.
It actually got way worse. The data
January 6th, 2008.
20th is when it happens.
20th. That's what I meant.
6 is when they certify.
Sorry, it's just a different holiday.
Yeah. Getting your wires crossed.
That would be so funny.
We gotta get out of here.
Real quick. It'd be real funny if you did a government holiday just for January 6th.
No, it would not.
Like everyone gets it off.
I would love one more day off work.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
But the real people that drive the country home, that work in businesses that isn't federally whatever, they don't get the day off. Those businesses will still be in work. Just a fucking hot take. So that federal holiday won't mean shit. We'll still be working it.
It's just the day where everyone comes together and blames each other for stealing shit.
Was I doing this back when you were around before?
Yeah.
Yeah, hiding people.
Yeah. Okay. Well, have you both been hided?
Yeah.
No. I don't think you ever gave me official height. If you give me 5'2", I'm walking back to New York.
Should we make him exercise? Okay. Well,
scoreboard.
Have you heard of this silly little country called England?
Yeah.
You have. Well, they do this thing there called knighting. Very, you can have your opinions on it.
Those are the people who still play with like kings and queens and princesses and all the dolls. And
exactly. Dolls and doll houses.
Right.
Silly little GDP made up nation. Yep.
One of them got in a bad crash, I heard. You okay?
Don't look into it. After a long form conversation, I'm pleased to be giving you a heart height. You'd be heighted instead of knighted. Because all my life people, and you get this too. They're like, hey, how's the weather up there? Can I get a couple inches? And all this shit because this large meat suit that I've
Did you play basketball?
Yeah.
How tall is your dad?
There's a bear shit in the woods. Yeah. Wow, you must have a big dick. All this. Untrue lies, right?
How's your kneecap? Is it still bruised? Walking around, hitting.
But I don't know. Height you, Makana. How tall do you stand physically?
6'4".
Makana Gellatly.
Thanks for not making me get on my knees like when we started the podcast.
I heart height the 6'4". You have a tall heart. You are a tall man. Hopefully not.
I want to recount.
That's. Let me tell you this. You've gained like 6 inches in heart height over the last year.
That's like a dick and a half. Come on,
folks. That's something you can put to bed. Do you remember what your heart is? What your heart is?
I think 6'2".
Oh, I might need to reevaluate. You deserve some more
hopefully
inches.
I'm not overestimating.
I might need it. How tall do you stand physically?
5'10". I think.
Oh, see, I think you need to be 6'. I was 6'3". I'm giving you if you're not already 6'3", you need to be at least 6'3" minimum.
Yeah,
I
probably
overestimated. Your differential is at least 5 inches. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Come on, folks. Where can the people check you out? Do you want people to find you?
Don't find me. We will have issues if you do. Thank you.
Okay. What about you, James?
No issues, but I don't know. I'm not on social media, so I just am kind of trying to work on myself without making any effort to show off, I guess. I don't know.
So our plugs are work harder and don't be a dick.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks for supporting the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Really does help us grow. Comment. Don't comment mean things, Makana. That doesn't help us grow.
Did I?
I don't know.
I probably did.
I'm sure you will.
Don't worry. I have 17 accounts. I'm not ready, dude. I'm going to cook.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here, gentlemen. Real fun hang.
Thank you.
Fuck off and be well.
Goodbye.